right, we're going to record this. All right. Okay, so today we're going to talk about uh, picture selling. We're going to hit a couple of different things about pictures. But pictures are something that a lot of us don't give much thought to. We're always out there marketing and trying to sell ourselves, etc. And we make sure that our own personal pictures look great, but we don't focus too much on our advertising pictures or what we're trying to convey. And that's kind of a big deal actually, because pictures can convey 1,000
I
words.
didn't know
So
that went bad,
for
really.
example,
Either.
what does this
That's
picture
confused
convey?
by, but I can't read.
I got somebody who's not on mute. Let me see here.
Oh,
And
nine, I think, but I'm not sure.
let's see who is it that's on. I wish William was in here, then he could tell me how to mute. But if you guys want to mute yourself unless you're speaking, that would be a good thing. Okay. All right. So, Mike, what does this picture say to you?
Someone's desperately needing some water.
That's right. Somebody's desperately needing some water. They're thirsty, right?
They're in the
Yeah.
desert.
Yeah. It could have been like the last 3 years in Utah where, we've had less and less water. We don't want to end up there. What about this one?
A good time.
A good time. That's right. Someone's really happy, or that one. Greed. All right. Greed. Got kind of green eyes there, but greed. Okay. So I want you to just think about that. What pictures can convey is often, and sometimes there are things that, how do I say this? There's things that are conveyed in pictures that we don't want them to convey. And so we have to be really careful that we're always conveying. I'm still letting people in here. We're always conveying what we want to convey. So before we get into that, we're going to do a quick market look and that, so we can kind of see what's going on in the market. So for over the last year, and we're just barely into this year, so we don't have a lot of correlating data, but 44% drop, almost 45. So it's kind of funny, 44.9% drop in home sales. Home prices actually went up 0.4 of a percent is what it said. And then, homes for sale increased by, more than 128%. Salt Lake County was kind of interesting because, Utah is just like everywhere else where location is everything in real estate. But pending sales are down 44%. Closed sales were down 50% for the year. And then the median home price dropped 2.8%. So it's kind of funny. You always wonder when people are talking, oh, well, there's a few more sales, but the prices dropped. Doesn't make sense to me. So there's data. When it comes to data, I like Mark Twain saying, there's lies, there's damned lies, and there's statistics. And usually people use statistics to their own benefit. But you can see in Salt Lake County, these are just a few numbers that I look at. Looks like home pricing, median home prices are decreasing. Average sales price is decreasing from 583 to 559, etc., down 4%. And the closed sales is down by 50%. So I took a look at some of the other counties as well. Utah County actually did a little better than Salt Lake County did. Their median home prices stayed pretty much the same. Their average sales price increased where ours decreased here in Salt Lake County. They only saw a 38% instead of a 44% drop in closed sales, and then pending sales down by 29%. Davis County is very similar. However, what was interesting is that the prices actually went up there, just marginally, a couple $1,000. Although the average sales price did decrease. Remember I said lies, damned lies, and statistics. I don't know how you have both those things happen, but in any event, Weber County mirrored Salt Lake County. And it looks like, as far as, quick facts, and this is what I've seen and when I did just a random poll. I'm a big believer in random polls of the market. And by what I mean And what I mean by that is I will take an area, I will take Olympus, Draper, whatever area I'm working in, 3 or 4 different areas. I'll pull a big loop and then I'll look at the property. So I've done this a few times because I've had clients in these areas, and 70% of the homes up in Olympus Cove had dropped, prices up to $400,000 or more. And so it's pretty significant. Draper was not any different. Pretty significant drops in price there, between 50 and 150, etc. But what's really important is the one thing I've mentioned this before. I moved to Burns, Oregon with my 2 kids, William and Danielle, and there was about, I don't know, 3 to 5 years inventory on the market at any given time. If you can imagine, having 150 houses on the market and only 3 of them selling, every month, and every month, they're putting more houses in there. That's kind of what it was like. And so I learned really quickly that it didn't matter what was happening in the market. What mattered was that my house sold. The properties that I did sold, that my flips sold. As long as my flips sold, I didn't care if there's 150 houses on the market and only 1 sold each month. It didn't matter as long as mine was the one that sold. And that's typically what happens. So anyway, we're doing good. The strongest sales appear to be at 700 and above. And I'm going to tell you, I have some questioning on that. That was put out by the Board of Realtors. And I'm not sure where they're pulling that, because I've had a number of houses here recently in the 2 million range or above that had $400,000 drops. So I'm not sure if it's 750 to 755, which it could be. But know your market, know your areas, because all real estate is local and area specific. Remember, location, right? If that's all you can remember. And you'll do a better job on pulling data, but that's just a quick data fact. And it looks like the loan apps are still going up marginally. They're still down a lot. They're down more than 70%, depending on which data you pull, but they're up from where they were. And so we'll probably get more confirmation as far as market direction by the time we end February and get into March, because then we'll be able to look and say, okay, 2022 is behind us, and here's where we're going in 2023. Absorption rate, you can see here. I pulled this one up for just Salt Lake County, but over the last 6 months, we're just slowly eking upwards. We're not in, and this is what's funny, because typically if it's 6 months or longer, you're in a buyer's market. And if I look at this data, I'm going to tell myself, well, it looks like we're still, we're moving towards a buyer's market, but we're still in a seller's market, right? Mike, does it feel like you're in a seller's market? You got to mute. There you go.
No, I don't necessarily feel that we're in a seller's market, but it's interesting. I mean, I'm seeing as many homes selling with multiple offers as without multiple offers. So I think we're in a fairly stable market right now. I wouldn't say it's either buyers or sellers.
I think you're absolutely right. We sold one with 13 offers in 2 days, and so, but I've got other ones that's been on the market for a while, and so, so again, it's specific, but it seems like it seems like maybe we're getting a little stability as the interest rates have dropped just a little bit. And so that's important to know. So we don't want to freak out. We just want to make sure our skill set is good. I think we're going to continue to see a decrease in a lengthening out here as we move into this year. I don't think we're over this by any means. I could be wrong, but I don't think we're even close to seeing an end to this. I think the recession, according to a number of economists and ones that I trust, that were the half dozen that were saying, hey, we're going to have a collapse in 2008. They're saying that it looks like the market's going to get a little bit more of a downward trend about mid-year, so May to June. So I think we'll slowly move to that point, and then they're thinking that maybe it'll pick up a little bit. But as long as you're doing the right thing, and as long as your house sells, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what happens there. All right, so let's talk about visual content. Let's talk about pictures. You know, it's interesting to me to see the pictures that people will put on their marketing, especially on listings. So we're going to cover that in a minute. But I thought I'd pull some data up here, and I've always had a background in marketing, and I've always been interested in it, and I've studied it, and I've worked, a lot with it, and I was married to a marketing person for a few years, and anyway, so this data they're saying is Cision is what marketers will use. It's a report found that press releases with photo media they received 1.4 more views. Well, that's like almost 1.5 times more views than text only releases, right? Well, those with video were 2.8, so almost 3 times as much. So if you can use videos, visuals on social media obviously are a hot ticket. Data from this advertising shows the images on Facebook get, look at this, 352% more engagement than links. Some people are really good at this. I look at their Facebook posts and it's really interesting. So pictures matter. 41% of marketers rated beautiful imagery as a characteristic of a positive experience. So if it's pretty, great. So maybe that's why realtors like to put nice houses out there. 44% said that they ditch reading a page altogether if the images weren't loading correctly. So make sure if you've got it on your website or if you've got it on Facebook that they can, actually load it. Now that says something, that's almost half, not quite half, but it also says that 60% might be looking for something else. So we're going to talk about that as well. So where do pictures come from for advertisers? Where can you get it as agents? 40% answered stock photography. This is despite a 12% overall, rating stock photos as the best performing image type. Stock photos are those ones you pay for. I use a big stock photo a lot. I've used them for years and I've got like 500 images in there. But you can pay for some pretty cool images. You can also go on to Google. Google has a lot of free images. If you click up there on the little tab up there, you can click royalty free. And a lot of times you can find cool stuff in there that's royalty free, which means you don't have to pay for it. There's no copyright issues. And you can put that into your advertising, or you can create your own. And we'll talk about that as well. So the first thing I want you to understand here, and this is not, how do I say this? Your pictures matter. Okay, your pictures on your listings matter because it can relay importance, the importance of working with the right realtor, the importance of having a house that's, been recently remodeled, the importance of a lot of different things. Pictures tell a story. It speaks volumes. So this was actually one of the top rated pictures of 2019 and won award, among the ad companies. And it was IKEA. And this picture, if you can look in there and see it, it's just a living room, right? Everything in there is from IKEA, and it talks about how much money it is. It's like, it's $11 for this. It was $995 for the carpet. It was $1,095 for the, sofa, $25 for this, whatever that is. A picture, $49 for a lamp, $25 for something else. And so all these different things you can use to decorate and make your house beautiful spoke volumes. So what does this tell you? Tells you that IKEA has everything you need to make your living room look great, and you can do it fairly cheaply, and so it conveys a lot because it makes you think about things. Like if you're like Mike's looking at it pretty closely there, I can tell, since the rest of you guys are all chickens and not showing your faces here early this morning. But and I did the same thing I did. I looked at it, I was like, okay, that throw, okay, it's $99. Okay, awesome. $95 for the end table. And you start looking at those kind of things, but it speaks volumes. It also lends credibility. If you show yourself as a putz on your business card, you've got problems. Okay. If you're, showing your listing and the listing looks like crap because the driveway's cracked and the lawn pictures are got pea stains all over it, there's more yellow than green, you're going to have a hard time getting somebody to the house. All right. And so we want to lend credibility to whatever it is that we're saying. I like pictures of Mike the party animal, with the chef hat and whatever, doing the partying his way to success in real estate. Fun things, a picture of the barbecue, picture of the food, picture of people having a good time. People believe what they see. Now, I'm going to tell you that this awesome office that I'm sitting in right here is not my office. My office is piled with books because I like to read. I've got at least 1,000 books sitting in here, and it's got a lot of other different things in my home office. However, I can tell you that, and you're still going to believe what you see. People believe what they see, and it doesn't matter. Even if they know it's not real, or if they know that it might not be real, people believe what they see. So give them something to look at. It's the same thing is true. It's like I looked at this. I've been fasting a lot lately. For those of you that are interested in fasting, my longest fast is 42 days. For the last several months, I've been doing, 4 to 5 day fast. And I can show, picture day one at the start, right? So this is from January. I did this in January. I started out at 3044. Yes, I'm a fatty officially. And by day 3, I was at 293. And by the day 4, I finished off there. And anyway, I was at 290, and then I maintained about a 295. And then I did it again this month, and I dropped, a few pounds again. So people that believe, give them something to believe in. So if you're trying to sell, fasting, if I was going to say, hey, fasting is a really good thing for you, and it is great for health benefits. There's a lot of health benefits that come from water fasting. But, it's a lot easier for me to show you what I did and what happened than it is for me to say, hey, you can lose, 2 pounds a day once you get past the second day on a water fast. And, by the time you start eating again, you're going to gain 5 pounds back as your stomach fills and everything else. It's a lot easier for me to say, hey, look at this. This was me, Randall the fatty, and on day 1, and day 3, Randall a little less fat. And so you're getting a little thinner, etc. So that's important. You want to use humor too. So using humor in marketing, we talk a lot about marketing because marketing is important, but I always like this one. Maybe it's because I'm ex-military and I can remember this stuff, and these guys get in my face as a young private. But, for those of you that might be looking on your phone, it shows the drill sergeant, getting up in this guy's face, and he's, Smith. And he goes, yes, sir. And he said, I didn't see you at the camouflage practice today. And Smith says, thank you, sir. So and for those of you that may not have got it, camouflage, he was camouflaged, so you couldn't see him there. So he's, the private probably wasn't there at all, but he's saying, thank you, sir, just because, it's like he did a good job of camouflaging himself so well that nobody saw him. So awesome. But use some humor. Humor goes a long ways. It makes people happy. We all are looking for a smile. We all want to see a smile. All right. Now, let's go into some practice. And I want to show you how anybody can do this. And you're going to get even better at this than I am. So hopefully, looks like I lost you for a second there. I'm hoping that are we still there? Yeah, okay. All right. Let me share that screen again, and screen 2. Okay. Yeah, the internet just blanked out for some reason there, so we should be good. All right. So there's other screen capture tools, but I use Nitro. Snagit. Okay. So if I look at Snagit by TechSmith, and right here, you can get like a trial, and I'm not sure how long it is, but you can try this trial. Let me turn off my, looks like Surfshark. It looks like I'm in India, so it's giving me the India. All right, let's try that here. And okay, so I use Snagit. Snagit is, ignore the Indian pricing there. It's not $5,000. I just pulled up because I was talking to my guy in India. One of my employees works in India, and so sometimes I'll use a tool that puts us in India together so we can look at some of the same types of things. But let's see. So if you look at Snagit by TechSmith, here's a free trial. This allows you to do some pretty amazing things. And you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Because you can come in here and I'm going to click on mine and I can take this. You guys are watching me. And there we go. And I can capture that, right? And then I can do, all kinds of fun things with it. And I can delete there. I can, fill in here. And let's say, I can put picture, arrows and, and I can put, I can put, lots of different things. So anyway, it can go a long way. So that's a great tool. Another tool that is very helpful to use is called, I think it's called Gimpy, but it's Gimpy, and it is it's this one right here, GIMP. And so it's downloads, and so you can download this, and it's a free tool, but this is one I use for like cloning. So let me bring some real world practice over here. So I'm going to take this one here. Let's come over here. I'm going to bring this one in here. So here I've got a parking lot, right? It's got a lot of cars and I don't know, a lot of crap in it. And maybe if I'm selling parking space or something, I don't want to deal with that. So here's what I do. And this is what you can do. I take this, all right. And this is, forgive me if it's not perfect because I'm not quite trying to be perfect here. But I'm just going to take this and I'm going to save it. Okay. And then I'm going to save it right there. And okay, I'm going to do that. All right. Okay. And get rid of that. Okay. So now I'm going to pull up my little tool here. All right. And this is GIMP. And I'm going to slap that baby in there. Okay. So there it is. And let's say that I want to get rid of, I don't know, let's get rid of these bottom cars here. All right. So I can take this, and this is a cloning tool, and this is just a quick thing here, but on this tool, I hit click like this, and then I can come up here and I can wipe those suckers out and I can get rid of it. Okay. And I can even get rid of this thing here, and I can come up here and literally, and you can be a lot more careful than this, but instead of like, if I'm trying to sell something and I want it to look good, I don't really care about the freaking lines, but that doesn't mean that I can't, doesn't mean that I can't have those lines. I can actually do it to where I can put each line in there and just blow it up. But I guess you can kind of tell what I'm doing here, which is, let me just move this right here, and I'm adios and all these cars here. And then I can even take, if I wanted to, I could take this over here and then just do it, like this, right? And I could put the lines back on this side, and you can kind of see right there where, and if you have a question, you can go ahead and put it out there. But I can put that line back here, and I can make it look like we've got, lines and everything, and there's no cars there. That's pretty useful sometimes when you're trying to do a a listing picture, right? And so I have had, let me do this here too. The same thing would be true if I'm looking at copies of a crack in here. You guys, you can do the same darn thing. Is we come through here, we screen capture it. Okay, I'm just going to do it like this, here. All right, so there it is. Capture it again. I save it to my downloads. Okay, and then let's get rid of that. And then I can go in here and just, open it up and let's see if it'll let me. There we go. I can do that. Okay, so then same thing, same principle, right? I just select an area to clone, and I can make this really tiny or really big. This cloning tool, I'm just going to leave it one size here for what I'm doing today. But I just select a spot there, and how about that? I'm getting rid of all that stuff there, and sometimes you have to keep resetting where you're pulling it from so it'll work. But I don't know if you guys find that interesting or not, but I'm going to tell you that it goes a long ways towards cleaning up your pictures and getting people to want to come and look at your house. And I had one of my agents that I worked with this last week who was, we were looking at some pictures, and this is not an appealing picture. And I didn't take a picture of the whole house, but especially, she'd taken the pictures before it snowed. It would have been better if it snowed. However, we can make it work, right? Because it's kind of nice. But the same thing again, you take your screen capture tool, come in there, grab that picture, and let me show you what you do with this. And it's just the same thing. I save it, I come in here, I save it to my downloads. All right, and then I put it back into GIMP, which GIMP was free, but you can also buy it. It's really cheap. Snagit is one of my favorite tools. I'm sure there's probably a free tool in there that you guys can use for screen capturing pictures. But again, we just bring it on in over here, and we proceed to get rid of all of these, nasty little things. Now, isn't that easy? I can even get rid of that little divot. And what about this one? And up here, and let's see. All right, what does that look like to you? Can you guys even tell that I've cloned that or gimped it? It's pretty dang good. You can use it. And no, you can't use it to remove a bikini, but guys, but you can use it to remove just about everything. And it's I had somebody ask me that once, said, "Hey, can you remove that?" I was like, "No." You could just take what's there, but the only thing you really need for this is you need to have a spot that's decent. So as we, did this before, it was pretty easy when we looked at this, because I had these spots, right? But I also had a decent spot. So we just clone the good, in with the good, out with the bad. The same thing is true when we were doing let me show you here when we were doing the parking lot, etc. So it's let me see here. I can do this one here. All right, and I was going to say, maybe for some reason that one's not loving my. I was going to tell you I could get rid of the. Let's see here. I could get rid of the. Something's going. It says unsaves changes. Sorry, homie, give me 1 second. Discard changes. Okay. I say I could get rid of just about anything. Like when I showed you the picture of my scale, I could get rid of the scale on my floor and show you just the wood floor. And let's see if I can pull that up. Like this one here, I can get rid of that scale on there if I wanted to, for example, or there's something in the wood floor. And it'll disappear, and I can make that thing disappear like it was never there. And you can get really specific with it, keep the cracks, keep whatever, or not, it's up to you. But the important thing is that make your pictures sing a little bit. They should sing. We don't want, pea spots all over our lawns and our listings. And if there's a ton of cracks and whatever on your driveway, well, we understand that, and they can't afford to fix it, and etc. I don't have a problem with covering those up and putting the best, picture forward, because at the very least, it's going to get people to the house, and then they're going to get there and they'll see that there's cracks there. But sometimes, it's funny, it just depends on how the photography takes a picture of it. But sometimes you get there and you look there in person, yeah, it's got cracks, but it doesn't matter. It's not that big. It's not that big of a detraction. But I had one guy take a picture of my house, and my gosh, that was all that I could see was the cracks in the driveway instead of the house itself. And I sold that house for a huge profit for the seller. And it was a good thing and no problems and multiple offers. And I think we sold it in a week and everything else. But if I had put the original picture of the house up front there, I don't think we would have got nearly as many showings. And so that is a
Randall, can I make another comment on pictures of the house?
Yeah. What was that?
One of the things, if I could just comment on the pictures for a house too, because some people, we have a company go out there and they'll make 50 pictures for us, and you don't need to use all 50. If you got 5 pictures of the same kitchen, pick the best ones.
Yeah.
When I see people put junky laundry rooms and stuff like that, the rest of the house looks good, but the laundry room has laundry piled in it, don't put that picture in there.
Toss it.
Put your best foot forward on those pictures. You don't need to put them all in there.
When in doubt, throw it out. That's so true. And especially if it's like showing small rooms, like houses should be big and spacious. Now, ideally, you want to have about 30 pictures. And the reason you want to have 30 pictures or more is because it gets rated higher on realtor.com and Utah real estate when people are doing searches, the ones that have more pictures. But if you have more pictures of crappy laundry rooms and crappy kitchens and everything else, you've got a real problem. Because you might go up higher in the rating, but as soon as they look at that, they're like, okay, check, let's get that one off there. But make your pictures look good. Make sure if the company that you've got taking, I use Simple Shoot quite a bit, but if they're taking pictures and they're not good pictures, make them go back or go take a few of your own. I usually will add a few of my own in there along with the pictures that the professional photographer takes. And another use for using a tool, a screen capture or a Snagit and a GIMP tool, is you can clean the kitchen counters off really nicely. A lot of times you can, if you've got a little bit of counter, I've had a few people that had a lot of stuff on their counter, and amazing, it was the cleanest their counter has ever been. And they said, Randall, when did you take these pictures? I don't remember our counters ever looking that clean. Well, yeah, we get creative. So there's a lot of things that we can do if we're just creative. But pictures sell. Pictures tell a story. Pictures lend credibility, and they can also do the opposite. Because everything has a good and a bad side, right? For every reaction, there's an equal and an opposite reaction. So it can destroy your credibility. It can get rid of people's desire to buy. And it can tell a horror story instead of the story of wanting to move into a beautiful home and be there with your family and enjoy a great life together. So I would encourage all of you to try and use good pictures and tailor those pictures a little bit, use a little bit of humor. And if you've got pea spots on your lawn, by all means, get rid of them. So put that best foot forward, because as soon as that dog's gone, if the new owner doesn't have a dog, that lawn will come back and it'll be green and perfect, just like we'd want it to be. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Is there any questions? I'm happy to have answer any questions here at the end. Like always, just unmute yourself. Either I was so good that there's no questions, or everybody's asleep. But I just want to let you know that I appreciate your being here, and hopefully you're welcome, Catherine, and thank you for being here, and thank you for all of you, and hopefully you got some value out of it.
Yes.
Thank you, Randall. Have a good day.
Welcome. You too. Take
Thanks,
care.
Randall.
Welcome. Have a great day. Bye now.
You too.